Hello. Today we are going to work on finding the surface area of what is called a triangular prism. So we've spent quite a bit of time working with rectangular prisms, like our dots box, and then you probably still have a wooden block from your first packet that was a rectangular prism. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at finding surface area of triangular prisms and kind of what that means. So here are the materials that you're going to need for today. There should be two triangular prisms in your box. Okay. They might not be labeled this. So you might have one that has A, B, C, D, or E, and then one that's either F, G, or H. So you should have two. And we'll talk about the difference between the two that you have in a little bit. You need maybe a marker or pencil. You're going to want your ruler again. And again, if you don't have a ruler, you could use the tape measure that's in your packet. You're going to want a pair of scissors. Okay. And then you need 2 sheets of centimeter grid paper. Hopefully I put 2 more in everybody's packet. If not, you've got a printer, you can maybe print it out, or you can just be careful when you're cutting it out and just use one. And then you need this paper that's called triangular prism activity. So that's what we're going to be working through today. Okay, so give me a second to try and find that stuff. Okay, so before we begin, let's make sure we understand why these things are triangular prisms. What makes them a triangular prism? Okay, so think about how it's similar to our box of dots. Okay, notice how just like the box of dots, if you twist around the sides, you see how there's rectangles on the sides? See how there are rectangles on the sides, but instead of having 4 rectangles on the sides, there are just 3. And then if you notice the ends of our prism, okay, this has a rectangle on the end, okay, rectangle on both ends. But on this one, there's actually a triangle on each end, okay? So this is why it's called a triangular prism. So triangular prisms has 2 parallel sides that are both triangles, okay? And the sides they're parallel and the sides are connected and have rectangles on the side, okay? What we're going to do now is to make a net for our triangular prism. So I want you to take your triangular prism that's labeled either F, G, or H. Not everybody has the same one. So F, G, or H. Okay. And I want you to make a net or a flat pattern for this shape. So let's think about this. How many sides do you think I'm going to have to build this out of paper? Now, when we were doing our rectangular prisms the other day, I remember how we needed like 6 different sides to kind of fold this up. Okay. Oops, this one got in a little bent. Okay. Or yesterday with our dots, the other day with our dots, we needed 6 different sides to fold this up. Well, we're not going to need 6 sides to make a triangular prism. How many sides do you think we're going to need? Okay. Did you think that we would need 5? We're going to need 3 rectangles kind of connected and 2 triangles. Okay, the triangle should be the same size and the rectangles maybe not. Okay, now when you look at F, G, or H, whatever letter you have, this triangular prism was built sort of specially so that this triangle is a right triangle. Okay, so you notice the 90-degree angle here. Your other one is not a right triangle. It should actually be an equilateral triangle. All 3 of these sides should be the same length, okay? So, and the angles are all 60 degrees, okay? So this one is actually a right triangle. All right, so I want you to try and figure out how you can make a net for this, okay? We're just gonna go, if they're not, go to the nearest centimeter. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the base of mine. Looks like this length right here is 4, and this length right here appears to be 6. Okay, so it'd be kind of like the bottom. All right, so then I need a side kind of to come up on over on this side. 3. Okay. And then I need like this long side to cover where the F is. Okay, and this appears to be about a length of 5. Okay, so kind of from here, I think if I flap this side up, it's going to cover this, and then if I flap around, it would hit over here, okay? All right, so then I'm going to try and make ends. This should match here and here. Okay, and there are my 5 faces. Okay, so what it's asking you to do next is cut it out and make sure it works. So you might have set yours up a little bit differently than mine. Okay. And if you didn't have letter F, yours might be a slightly different size. Some of these are a little bit longer or shorter. Okay. I think the end should still be the same, but this length of 6 might be a little different for yours, depending on which block you have. Okay, so then let's test our net, see if it seems like it works. Okay, and it's pretty close, I know. Okay, does it look like it covers all 5 sides? Okay, it should be pretty close. Okay, so then we're going to do a few things with this. All right, so we drew our net, we cut it out. Now we're going to answer a few questions. How many faces does your folded box have? Okay, did you say 5? Everyone should have 5. Okay, next it says write down the dimensions, length, and width of the rectangular faces. Okay, so go ahead and do that for your rectangular faces. And again, if you don't have F, if you have a different one, it might be slightly different. Okay, did you say that this is a 6 by 4? If you have this one, it might be something by 4. My next one is a 6 by 3 and a 6 by 5. Okay, so I've got my 6 by 4, 6 by 3, 6 by 5. Okay, draw a sketch of your triangular faces. So let's kind of take a look at this. So if I look at my triangular face, looks like this side down here, okay, looks to be 4. And then at the right angle side, it should be 3. Okay, and they should be the same. Now my other one is just kind of flipped down, but it's got a right angle here where this is the length of 4 and this is 3. Now really everybody should have a side that's 3 by 4, because I did have my husband, when he cut these blocks out, the ends should all be triangles that are actually 4 centimeters by 3 centimeters by 5. Okay, so just to kind of make it a little bit easier. Okay, so label the sides and the height. So I did. So this is 4, this is 3, and then this length actually should be 5. Okay, and the reason I also kind of know that is because that's that length kind of covering around right here of 5. Okay, go back and find the area of all your faces from D and E. Okay, so again, your numbers might be different. All right, so I've got that this 6 by 4 is 24. This one is 18, and this one is 30. Again, I could count the blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Okay, or I could just do the dimensions and multiply those together to get how many squares are in each of these faces. Okay, so I did that. Okay, and now I'm going to go back and find the area of my triangular faces. Okay, so remember, it's a little tricky to try and count in here. So from earlier, do you remember how to find the area of a triangle? All right, did you remember it's base times height? Okay, and base is my kind of flat end, and the height is if I take a little ball and put it at the top and drop it down. So I'm going to take 4 times 3 and then divide that by 2. So that gives me 12 divided by 2, which is 6. Okay, and how big should this one? It should also be 6. Okay, all right. So the area of these, I'm going to do 4 times 3, then divide by 2. Okay, 4 times 3, but divide by 2. Okay, so, or those two added together should be that's what it says. Okay, all right, so now go back and find the total. So we did that. What's the total surface area? So I'm going to add up the area of all 6 or 5 sides. Okay. So what'd you get? I got 84 centimeters squared. Okay, so and then I'll give you a chance to kind of pop up some of the answers to some of the other questions. You can check those. Okay, let's start over the back. All right, so now we're going to draw the net for our other triangular prism. So take your other one, okay, and it should be lettered A through, or it might be A, B, C, D, or possibly E, okay? So, and on the ends, it should be a equilateral triangle, so 3 equal sides. So now you're going to try and make a net for that one. So let's take our second piece of graph paper. Okay, and try and make a net for that. So I'm going to go ahead and think, all right. And I'm just going to get as close as I can. So my husband was trying to cut them, but it's a little bit, not quite 5, so, or not quite 5, but almost 4. So I'm going to go ahead and use 4 for this side. And then look at this length right here. So it should be 6. All right, so it's kind of the bottom. All right, so then I need to cover a side here and a side here. Okay, all right, so that would cover what's called my lateral area, the area around. And now I need to cover the 2 bases. So I need triangles for those. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of see, like it goes to about here. Okay, this one didn't kind of hit exactly on there real well. So a little bit taller than 3 about here. Okay, so I've got my net. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut it out and see how well it works. Okay, that's a little bit tight. But since I was going to the nearest centimeter, it's pretty close. It should work. I'm going to fold up. Okay, look like that makes this. Okay, let's answer a couple questions then. Okay, so we did these 2. How many faces does your folded box have? Again, it should have 5. All right, write down the dimensions, length, and width of each of the rectangular faces. Now, again, yours might be different, okay, because not all of them were the same size as A. So for mine, they were 6 by 4, 6 by 4, and another 6 by 4. Okay, so let's see. 6 by 4, 6 by 4, 6 by 4. Okay, draw a sketch of the triangular faces. So what does my triangular face look like? Like here. All right, each of the sides were 4. And then I've got another one, looks kind of identical. Just I'm kind of flipping down. Okay, now I need to find the height, okay? So if I use this as my base, the height is going to be, I go to the top, drop a ball down, da, 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 da. It hits at 90 degrees right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take my ruler and measure the height of this particular base. So, and see how much it should be. Okay. Looks to be about, what do you think? Did you say 3.5? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to use 3.5. Zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so 3.5 is my height. So same with this one. 3.5. All right, so let's see. Now I've got my stuff here. It says I'll go back and find the area of all your faces from D&E. So what's the area of each of these faces? The 6 by 4, the other 6 by 4, and 6 by 4. Now I could, count. Okay, but it'd be easier just to go ahead and multiply. So this would be 24, 24, 24. All right, now I'm going to find the area of my triangles. So I'm going to take base. Okay, so we were finding the area of the triangle. So I'm going to do base times height. So I'm going to do 4 times 3.5. Okay, then I'm going to divide that by 2. So 4 times 3.5 is, let's see, 14 divided by 2. So I'm going to get 7. All right, this one should also be 7. So now I'm going to find the total area of the net. So, and again, yours might be different if you didn't have block A. So I'm going to add my 3 rectangles and my 2 triangles. So 24 plus 24 plus 24 plus 7 plus 7. Okay. So did you get a total of 86 centimeters squared if you had A? All right, so that's how you make a net for a triangular prism, and then how you use your net to find its surface area.